Okay, welcome back, you guys, for another episode of Couch Talk 101. And you know, this is B Thrash. Shout out to my teammate G. And we have a special guest with us today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
I'm Adrian, also known as Miss Kelly or AD.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're going to get straight to it. The first thing, the working out. And that's kind of how we met from the working out.
We definitely met at the Hill, as most people in Indy know, which was a huge initiative to get Indy moving for free. So definitely a dope movement. Of course, on break this week, but we'll be back next Thursday for the final Hill run. So hope to see everyone out there. But my fitness journey actually began a few years ago. After calling off an engagement that I was in, I decided that I had to find myself, and I started through fitness. And so I started with 5 a.m. workouts with the local trainer. And so I would get up at 5 a.m. every day to start working out. And then from there, I started to meet amazing people in the fitness realm and just took off from there and been working out ever since and using it as a stress management tool for myself.
Okay. And you got to be pretty disciplined to work out at 5 a.m. Like, how does that?
Definitely. So 5 a.m. was one of the hardest commitments that I've ever made in my life. But it also was the only time being a mother that I felt like I could truly commit to and stay committed to. Because my kids, no one needed me at 5 a.m. So I figured if I could get up and get to the gym, no one would distract me or disturb me after school. My kids need to be here, there. I figured it would always get bounced around with me needing to be a Uber for my children. So 5 a.m. I was able to get it done, and it definitely took a good 2 months. And every time I take a break from 5 a.m., some of you that know me now, I'm on a break from 5 a.m. It is very difficult to get back to 5 a.m. But you really have to weigh your goals versus your excuses.
So is this something like you sit down and write down like, all right, this is where I want to be, this is what I want to do for you to stay on that track?
It is. So a lot of my goals are driven by a look, so not specifically a weight, but how I want to look or feel. And so I know what I need to do. And a lot of times for me, it's working out. I will work out 2 times a day to get it done. Where I struggle and where most people struggle is the nutrition. So people that know me very well, it's no secret. I eat like a 4-year-old most of the time. So I eat chicken fingers and most things that I shouldn't eat. So that's where I really struggle at. As far as getting to the gym, I'm pretty disciplined. We'll get in the gym, we'll work hard. We'll drag everyone to the gym with me. We'll be everyone's accountability partner and harass you until you get to the gym if you tell me you're going to be there. But this next level is really focusing on me eating well and really feeding my body.
Now, what is it? Is it just you got to find something you like to eat, or is it being addicted to the bad foods? Like how does that work?
I think it's a combination of everything. I grew up a vegetarian, a bad vegetarian, for no reason. My family was not vegetarian or vegan. I just didn't like to eat meat. And so growing up, I did not eat meat. And so I ate a lot of carbs. So I love the pasta, I love the breads, which is half of my problem. And there's just a lot of things I don't eat because I've never had them. Mm-hmm. And now as an adult, I'm struggling to push myself.
Stuffing out that.
So, like ground beef, ground meat, I've never had. So I've never had hamburgers or anything like that.
You don't need that.
Seafood, I've never had seafood.
Really? Not even shrimp?
Not even shrimp.
That's crazy.
So a lot of the healthy things I've never had, and so I'm limited.
Okay.
And I'm very reluctant to try new things. So, we're working on it.
So you would say like the working out plus how you eat kind of keeps you balanced?
It definitely keeps me balanced. I definitely have to work out a lot harder or a lot more often.
Yeah.
Because I eat subpar. Once I get my eating together, I can definitely probably work out just probably a few times a week. Okay. Right now I work out 5 to 6 times a week. Pretty hard workouts, but right now it's just almost like maintaining.
Yeah.
Because I'm eating things I shouldn't be eating.
Okay. Now, how long are the workouts? Is it something you be in there for hours? Like, how does that work?
So Usually about an hour of truly working out. But when I do get with my fit fam or anyone that works out knows you get creative in the gym. Sometimes you just get carried away where you're like, let's just hit this other set. Let's just do this. So sometimes it turns into 2 hours. In the mornings, definitely I try and keep it to an hour, hour and 15 minutes because I'm trying to get to work.
Okay. Now, I done went to the hill a couple times. And I gotta tell you, I do not work out. But them times I went to the hill, the soreness.
Yes.
How does that work? Speak on that for people that don't know.
The soreness, yes, okay. I love the soreness for the most part. The soreness to me is, you've done some work.
Okay.
If you go to the hill and you're not sore, you were talking a little too much. And I hate to be the one to break it to you. But the soreness is your body telling you did some stuff that it wasn't used to. Okay. And that's what you want to do. You want to get your body out of its comfort zone. And that's one thing that I feel I have been successful in is just switching up my workouts. If you see me, I don't just do one type of workout. Mm-hmm. And I also work out with tons of different people that have different training styles. And so that keeps your body guessing so you don't plateau. And when you start to plateau, you don't get sore anymore. You
so
can do
what's
some
the
of the
plateau
hardest.
like when you're used to the...
Your body gets used to doing the same workouts. And so it's no longer changing. It's no longer challenging your body to do or to perform better.
Okay. So basically it's one of them things you just got to start. You got
to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. And here in Indy is one of the best places to start because so many trainers here are offering free events. And that's the thing that I love to push because it really gives you a chance to see, first of all, do your personalities match with certain trainers that you're interested in working out with? And then it gives you a chance to start without having to heavily invest money, which some people, that's one of the reasons they say they don't work out is because it does get expensive sometimes. But there's so much going on in Indy for free that you can really stay moving almost every day of the week for free. Yeah.
Free, yeah, because it's... Shout out to some of the trainers.
Yes.
Can you shout them out like...
All of the trainers.
Beasley's
of course,
one.
Beasley on the hill. Dave Hicks does several workouts throughout the week.
My guy Max, C9.
Yes, as well as Nail is also doing workouts. So everywhere. And you'll see it on Instagram if you follow most people that work out here in Indy. We usually all post each other's different events and what's going on for free because it really is an initiative here in Indy to get people moving. And they are forming a fit crew.
I seen
where they're all coming together. Yes.
Serious.
And so I'm sure they have serious things coming for Indy.
Okay. So you mentioned being a mother, so we're gonna go into that spin of it. Okay. So how is it working out with being a mother? Like, is it draining? Like, I know you got to wake up at 5, so that means you're going all day.
Yes, it makes for very long days. But I will tell you, even when I thought my children weren't watching me, they are truly watching me. And so I see them wanting to make better food choices, wanting to join me at the hill or other workouts I go to, as well as getting involved in sports at their schools. My middle child is a champion diver. So fitness was never a big thing for him. And since I've started working out, he has tried to remain active and trying to do other things to get in better shape for his sport, which is pretty neat.
Okay. So all of them pretty much stay active, the ages?
Yes, they stay active. And this is, I'm coming into a weird phase with my with my children. They're all teenagers now. So living in a house with 3 teenagers can get very interesting.
How does that work? You got 3 little people, like,
not so little anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
Getting ready for the world.
Getting ready for the world. So more now than ever, I'm trying to be very conscious of what I show them and the model that I am to them. Because I know this is the time they're making huge decisions on how they're going to proceed into adulthood. And so I'm really trying to focus on that. And that's part of my drive to start eating better because I need to cut back some of my working out in the evening to provide a little more supervision for my teenagers, as well as to make sure that they're active in the right things that they need to be active in.
Facts, because as a teenager, it's easily to get sidetracked.
Yes, very, very easy.
And so, are you allowing them like social media, or you kind of, how do you go about it? Cause my daughter's 10.
Yes.
Well, you know what I mean? She's coming in, she's not old enough yet, but I still gotta be like, all right, daddy said.
Yes.
Like, how does that work?
So all of my children do have social media. We definitely have social media rules, and they're like hard, fast rules. One is that I have your sign on. So if at any point, which you know, teens are slick, at any point, if I try and log on and your password has changed and I haven't got that text,
it's gone.
It's gone. I'm cutting phones off. Okay. So I need to be able to see their social media at all times. Of course, communicating with people you don't know as far as where you live, even the state, school, we don't play those games.
Right.
I have a hard and fast time that they need to be off the phone, which is 10 o'clock.
So have you, now you said that, have you caught the, I'll call you right back. She walked in.
Yes.
Have you caught that?
I've caught my kids in the closet talking.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Why are you in the closet talking? I've caught the hurry up, put the phone down.
Yep.
When we on FaceTime, wait a minute, why you on FaceTime? Why you gotta put it down? No, we doing something we aren't supposed to be doing, or talking to somebody we're not supposed to. And really just watching what they're posting, what they're saying, the dance moves that my daughter is doing, what's appropriate, what's not, and having those authentic conversations of, I want us to be able to talk, at the same time I'm not your friend, but I am someone you can confide in.
Facts.
And so walking and towing that line and learning, you know, I've made mistakes where I'm like, kind of went a little too harsh. I don't know if they're going to come back to me on that one. But really showing them that I truly have their best interests at hand. And with me being a teen mom, I think, and being very open about that with my children, my oldest kind of tries me sometimes on that. Like, what, at my age, you know, you had a child, and so really having those honest conversations that are somewhat hard for me at times. So I'm like, wait a minute, are you criticizing? You know, like, I want better for you. Yeah. And so I get where you're coming from, but at the same time,
you still mama.
Yeah, I'm still mama. And so if I said no, it means no.
Yeah. And I had a teen mom. Like, my mom was a teen mom with me, so it's just like, it's like, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I show my mom the utmost respect, never disrespect her, but I definitely see where you be like, okay, I gotta lay the law down.
Yes.
Okay. So, on to the next subject, being a special education teacher.
Yes.
Okay, how is that?
It has its days. I love what I do most of the days. My passion for special education was actually birthed out of my oldest son. And so when he went to kindergarten, I just knew something wasn't right. He was a fighter. You touch him, he's ready to fight. And I knew something wasn't right with that. And so going through the system, I just felt they weren't doing what they needed to. And it came to the point where they told me I would have to quit my job to come stay with him at school all day. And being a single mother, I was like, absolutely not. Like, there's no way I can make that happen. And so from that point, what I did was I went back to school. I decided at that point I was going to go and learn special education law. And so that's what drove me to actually get a degree. Because prior to that, I wasn't thinking about going to college.
So it's a sacrifice being a mama.
Yes. Okay. So it was definitely purpose driven. Wouldn't change a thing, because if I wouldn't have had him, especially at that early of an age, I probably wouldn't be sitting here with the career that I have and helping the students that I help now.
Okay.
And so my passion for special education is deeply rooted, especially because the whole goal was to get my son through school. And so now he's a junior. He is scheduled to graduate. And so it's like, yes, we've had many ups and downs, but when I'm at work, these babies are truly like my babies. Yeah. You know, this isn't just a job because I know this is someone's child, because I've been on both sides. I've been on the other side of the table where my job is at risk because my child can't stay in school, you know. And so having that passion and being able to advocate for other parents is something that I wouldn't change.
Okay. And with that field, you have acquired a lot of patience.
Yes. Yes. I have acquired a lot of patience, and I've really learned the art of not taking things too personally.
Okay.
And so,
Speak on that, because I feel like a lot of in life in general, a lot of people take things personal. What's
yes.
your view on that?
So when you work with children in general, you learn not to take things personal, because a lot of the things that they're going through, they will display at school. And so a lot of times I'm not asking, what are you doing this for? I'm asking, like, why? What are you trying to tell me? What do you need from me? And one quote that has gotten me through working with my son as well as students is just, some of the most difficult students or children need the most love, but show it in the most difficult ways.
That's very true.
And so sometimes that's the only way they can show you that they need something. And so to me, it's like, well, what happened to you? What support can I provide you? And really forming those relationships. Children are very relationship driven. And so when I think about a student that is struggling in a crisis, I'm not taking it personal what you're doing, because I know this isn't who you are.
Yeah.
It's deeper than this. And until we get to that deeper, we're going to keep running into the same obstacle. And that has helped me actually in like personal relationships with adults, because adults function very similar to children that I work with.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it,
it is,
but they function very similarly.
and I was gonna ask you that because they say like when like adults are dealing with trauma from their childhood,
Yes.
so until they deal with that trauma from their childhood,
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna see.
Yes.
So that's why I was gonna ask you, like, is that what you kind of run into?
Yes.
The majority of the time.
That is. And so I usually don't take it personally. And I really respect people's energy and space. And I know everyone isn't for everyone.
Right.
So I can meet a really dope person and feel they are really dope and, love it. But I may not be what they need at that moment, or I may not be the it.
Yeah.
But I don't take it personal, because I know I'm not made for everyone. Everyone's not made for me. But that doesn't mean that you're any less of a great person. Yeah. We can both be great. We can both operate in the same circles. Yeah. We're just not meshing together. And so I've just learned not to take it personally. And I think when you know your worth, and that's what I teach my students, your worth isn't dependent on anyone.
Yes.
So even if someone doesn't want to collaborate with you, that doesn't lessen your worth or theirs. It's just not meant to be. Right.
Yeah, I don't mix.
And I think that's where we get, as adults, we get tied up and we take it very personally, and then we get these like beefs, which is maybe an old word.
Nah, it's still very
these beefs, and we want to downplay other people, but it's just everything isn't meant for everyone. Right. But we are all still great in what we do.
And what I've noticed, like, since I've started interviewing people and talking to people, most people that do fitness, or like I talked to someone that did yoga, and they both say, don't take it personal.
Right.
Like, it's not.
Yeah.
And then which is going to lead us to our next subject of quieting the mind and being one with themselves. Like, how did you get to find that versus a person that is always on the go, that don't have time to quiet the mind?
So, learning to quiet my mind was something that was very difficult for me, because I was used to being on the go. When I had too much time, it was almost like it sent me into anxiety. Like,
yes.
Whoa, like I didn't know what to do. Like I was always trying to find something to do or find people to be around. And so one thing that I really learned to do, which was very hard for me at first, was to go to the gym alone.
Really?
Not to work out with anyone, because I had already established the gym as my peaceful place.
Okay.
So to just go and be able to be in my thoughts. Another thing that I did was I started running a few years ago, and that was a time that I would put on my gospel music, and I would just use that time to think.
Okay.
And so that's where I really started to just learn and be okay with being okay. Be okay with being by myself.
Yes.
And finding just joy in just being
alone.
Just being alone.
I think as adults, like, I'll say I kind of grew up fast, so I was always on the go from a
Yes.
child, you know what I mean, to adult. And I think in the last couple of years, I've finally been like, okay, it's okay sometimes to not have the group of friends around. Or,
Right.
you know what I mean? You can still go out to eat or go do
Mm-hmm.
something alone. And I feel like as adults, we have to get back into
Definitely.
being complete, knowing we're enough.
Yes. The first time I ate alone, I was
How
I was so paranoid. I know I had
Yeah.
anxiety, like,
Yeah.
oh, this looks strange. Like,
Yeah.
oh, people are gonna think this or
Yeah,
think that.
yeah.
Like, my mind was racing with thoughts, and I had to think about it. My mind was racing with all the thoughts of what other people would think
And that's crazy.
of me sitting there
That's crazy.
alone.
And
Not even my
nobody's-
feelings of how I felt sitting there. I was worried about everyone else's feelings. My brother passed away, and then so after that, naturally, my family kind of separated from the church, stopped going to church after that. And then once I moved back to Indy, one of my coworkers actually invited me to one of the larger churches here.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, get an invite. Wonderful. Started going to church, loved it. And then I was invited to another church, which was a bit smaller. And it felt like home.
Okay.
And from that moment, I have just been pretty faithful in going to church. I will say I did start going to church before I became more disciplined in actually reading and learning more.
Okay.
So it took for me to go to church, feel comfortable, really, I guess, get a good understanding of some of the word
Yeah.
before I felt comfortable reading and trying to study it on my own.
Yeah. So you went from Sunday, just getting the word on Sundays, you know what I mean, getting the
Kind of being
sermon.
content with that.
And then later on it became more of a lifestyle.
Yes.
Like, okay, I need to find out this information for myself.
Yes. And then I found myself in no specific pattern or reason, just feeling the urge that I just wanted to be in praise
Okay.
all the time. And so that's when it came into me working out to worship music.
Okay.
And so one of the funniest stories, I was running a half marathon here in Indy, and I was listening to gospel music, and I put my hand up because I'm praising
In the
the
middle
Lord
of
in the middle of the race. And one of the aid people came on the bike like, do you need help? And I'm like, no, I'm just praising the Lord. And so it made sense, though. It made sense that something that I found peace in, which was the gym, was then combined with my natural peace.
Yeah.
So it just flows together for me. Even though I do listen to a lot of slow gospel music. People are like, how do you listen to depressing music? Because to me, it's not really depressing because it takes me to a time and reminds me
Yeah.
of something like, wow, I remember when this song got me through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm able to just really remember where I came from and where I am now, which makes me grateful basically every day.
Okay. And now was, like you said, transitioning into the church, did you have to depart from a certain crowd you was hanging around, or have you always been around the right crowd, or how did that work?
So I haven't departed from any crowds. I do find myself just recently, actually, I'm really starting to be a little more mindful of what I'm listening to,
Okay.
as well as a little bit more mindful of what I post on social media, y'all.
Yeah.
I want to be authentic,
Okay.
and so I never want to be like I'm a holier than thou person, because that's not my story.
Right.
That's not the story that was written for me. That's not the story that I'm living.
Right.
But I definitely am becoming more mindful as I'm becoming more conscious of what I'm reading, and really trying to make some changes in some stuff that I do. And I think it's just also based off of me really learning my worth
Okay.
through the word. And so I used to do a little more and show a little more. And so I'm becoming a little more conservative. Yes, you still catch me in my crop tops, and I will continue to wear my crop tops and cut everybody's shirts up. Yes. But really focusing on the working out part and making sure that this isn't just a for show type of thing.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Now you say when you move back here, which brings me into the next. You see how I keep it rolling.
Yes, you do.
So the Chicago. How would you say it differs from living in Indy now?
Okay, so definitely, Chicago's my hometown, y'all. So that's gonna be hard to shake. And I love Chicago. Chicago has so much to offer.
It does.
The difference is, for me, I have found peace in Indy, which is crazy because I came to Indy, definitely had some of my lowest moments here in Indy, but I think me rebuilding in a place where I knew no one, and was able to rebuild has given me peace.
Okay.
And so I love that it's somewhat slower than Chicago. It is quieter. One thing I'm not quite used to though is the circles.
What?
That a lot of the people, everyone is interconnected.
Oh my goodness! You know what's
Here,
crazy?
everyone is interconnected.
Everybody from out of town says that.
Yes.
Elaborate on that.
I mean, I can't remember who said it on Facebook, but it's like musical chairs,
Yeah.
especially if you're single. This is just something that I've never seen before. And I think in Indy, I don't feel it's a small town, but
It's a small
it's a small town.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm not used to, and I'm still getting used to. And but I will say, coming from Chicago when I first moved here, I was like, who would ever want to move to Indy? Like,
Right.
what is here? This is crazy.
Yeah.
To now learning different parts of the city and just seeing all that has to offer, I enjoy it here. I do miss water.
Yeah.
Summertime shy.
Yeah, like the.
There's no
what is
summertime
that
Indy.
bridge?
Okay.
That bridge, man, like, and being in downtown Chicago was just like so many buildings.
Yes,
It's crazy.
but I will say, if I ever feel unmotivated, kind of like I'm losing my itch, I'm losing my it, I'm just kind of going downhill, I will go back home. Because back home, it's like, you got to make a way.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna baby you. And so it just gives me that drive back, like
Okay.
that hustle.
That
Like
hustle,
Chicago reminds me of that hustle. Like you gonna make a way.
Yeah,
You
see,
got to.
You see all
So-
type of different type of hustles in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So I'll say there's pros and cons about both.
Okay. Now, how do you feel about like when you hear Chicago on the news and stuff? You hear so many killings and this and that. Like, what's your view on that? Because you've been on both sides of the fence.
Right. I feel it's like here in Indy. I feel it's very isolated. When you watch the news, you would think, oh my goodness, if I go to Chicago, like I'm gonna get shot.
That's before I went to Chicago. That was the image.
Yes.
Just because that's what
That's what you see.
Yeah.
And then you get to Chicago and you realize that's
It's
not
more
the case.
Yeah.
It's a lot more to the stories. There's a lot more to Chicago. There's, as just like Indy, there's very, very prominent areas. There's there's areas that are socially, economically deprived. And violence can happen anywhere. I feel like it's not something to stop you from going anywhere.
Right.
In Chicago, people call me and say, "Whoa, Indy,
It's
seems to
up
be having a
there.
lot of,
Yeah, it's up
what is
there.
it called, Afghanistan or something
Yeah.
like." So I feel like it can go both ways, and I'm like, I live here, like
You don't be.
I don't feel
I was
unsafe or
I was taught at a young age. It's not where you live; it's how you live.
exactly.
So yeah, you know what I mean. So like, people that's seeing violence every day. I'm sorry. People that's seeing violence every day is just like they live in that type of life.
Right.
So you know what I mean. If you not living that type of life, you see it on the news, but it's not in your day-to-day life.
Right.
So I understand on that.
Yeah. So I feel it's just, as always, what the media portrays. Is there gun violence? Yes, in both places, everywhere. It's just how it's portrayed.
Facts, and that's with the media.
Yes, that's what the media.
Okay, and I know you said being single, so you've been on the dating scene. So I got a scenario for you.
Yes.
Okay, so you on a date with a guy, y'all having a cool time.
Okay.
The bill comes, he whips out a coupon. What is you doing? What's your reaction?
I'm like, that's what's up. To
Okay.
me, I mean, it's not about how much to date. To me, I'm like, you're resourceful, bro. Like, you actually might have planned this out. To me, effort goes a long way. This means you didn't just like randomly pick this place. Like, you actually looked for a coupon.
I've had all kind of answers to that, so we always ask that.
Yeah. So I like resourcefulness. I like effort. So the fact that he had a coupon, to me, like some dudes, they like pick you up or not even pick you up.
Meet you
there or hit you 5 minutes before. So what you want to do? Or
yeah.
he been planned it out. Been clipped the coupon and everything.
Okay. So you speak on the everybody knows everybody from here. Is that hard for the dating scene? Like you be like, man, you know this person and know that person.
Yes.
It's hard.
That is hard. And it makes you really think.
Okay.
Because dating has so many different definitions.
Right.
And so for me, dating is just like you getting to know somebody, hanging out, went on a date, you know. But when everybody knows everybody, it's just kind of like you got to move differently. Everybody go to the same spots. Then you out and about, and you like, oh dang, like you know him.
You see, yeah, exes and yeah.
Yeah, and so I feel like it can get very messy very quickly.
Okay.
And so it's really like.
Do you think social media plays a big part in that? Because I said this a long time ago. The city was kind of like it seemed like the city was smaller when Facebook came about.
Okay.
Like to me, like you know what I mean. Like MySpace, it was more so.
You took it back to MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace is like you knew of people, but you didn't know them. Like now, Instagram, you can see right in somebody's house. Like,
yeah. I'm not a big Facebook person, but I would definitely say when I meet someone, I do look at the friends we have in common, and I look like, have I went on a date with any of these people?
Yeah.
Like, are any of these people in his pictures? Like, are these just people he knows? Are these his homeboys? Because you never know. And as a woman, that's the worst predicament you want to be in. You run into somebody, and you like,
yeah,
wait a minute,
yeah.
I'm going on a date with him. You know, and everybody doesn't operate the same way. Like, if I go on a date with someone and they're cool and it just didn't work, I'm cool.
Yeah,
like we can function. What's up? You know, some people don't operate like that.
They got
like,
beef with you.
They got beef, or you know, they want to say something crazy. So it's really just
okay.
It's basically, you know,
so
you got to move very carefully or choose to, you know, operate out of state.
Okay. Would you, and that's a term that a lot of people would be like, all right, I'm about to find me somebody
out of state.
Is the way to go. Okay. And would you say it's harder for men or women to date now? Like, which one would you say catching the bad end of the stick?
I would definitely say women.
Women catching the bad end?
I would definitely say women.
And is that because, well, I'll let you elaborate and then I'll throw my 2 cents in.
One, I feel, just from my experience, y'all, don't kill me.
Yeah, this is
just from my experience.
From a personal
I
experience.
feel there is a very small circle here in Indy. When I say small, I don't mean small. There's probably like, I'd say 30, 40 legit black men. And so there's tons of women. So the men are in high demand.
It's hot, yeah. Why would you say that though? Like, why is it so less of legit black men out on the streets?
Couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Okay.
But I
we
do
do
feel
know
like
that's the.
There's definitely more women than men.
Okay.
And I definitely feel men are. I feel y'all won't mind dating if somebody else homeboy, you know, if your homeboy like, oh, went on a date, that's fine. Women, I feel like in that respect, we're usually a little more loyal.
Okay.
So if my girl's already, you know, talk to you
like,
and it just didn't work out,
you're like, nah. and I will say that, yeah, because I've
you know
heard I've heard from both sides, like dudes is just like, Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that ain't a big thing. Females, nah.
Nah.
Like,
Nah.
why is that though? Like, is it ego thing or is it loyalty thing? Like, what is that?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit of both. For me personally, I operate in the it's good. Like if it didn't work out for me, he might be your Prince Charming. But I know a lot of women don't feel that way. And so just to keep everything positive and on the up and up,
Cool.
you don't even
Entertain that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even go in there. Okay.
and so it's kind of like you better pick carefully out the crew. So usually, and that's the other thing. Usually y'all all hang together. So then you gotta make your selection very wisely out the crew. Like which one of these, fine brothers
That you going
am I gonna try and,
Now, and it's funny you bring that up because I see so many posts like, damn, I wanted the friend. Or you haven't
because
seen
sometimes,
it.
and that's real, y'all. Sometimes, sorry, y'all. Sometimes you like, I'm feeling one, and y'all go on a date, and for whatever, it's not that connection.
Yeah.
It was physical, but when you sit down with someone, if you want something real, you're gonna want more than physical.
Facts.
And it just didn't link up. And then through hanging out, you realize like his friend who wasn't number one on your physical,
It's the
mentally is there, and you like, dang.
So
But now you done messed up because
So what do? Do you backpedal out of that predicament?
not here in Indy.
Not.
Maybe a large city. I mean, not here.
It's
Ain't no
it's
backpedaling.
slow, right? Once you done use your turn, that's it.
That's it. That's the
Okay.
hard part. So then you gotta really,
Pick and choose.
pick and choose.
Okay.
Choose wisely.
That's the message.
I mean, for men too, choose
Yeah.
wisely. Because usually people hang together, part of the same crew. Especially, I'm gonna tell y'all, especially in the fitness world, y'all. Everybody knows everybody. So,
So be careful.
Be
in
careful.
the fitness world. Be careful. In
yes,
any type of world you in, be careful.
be careful.
Okay. So is there any other topics that we missed? So we have some good information for people.
No, it's a good one. DM etiquette.
Let's go into it.
DM
Let's go.
etiquette,
You got the
y'all.
floor. Let's go. We ain't even touch on that yet. Let's definitely. We gotta touch on
DM
this.
etiquette.
So, what's the craziest thing you done seen in the DM? I've done asked this and I've heard some
Okay,
personal
the
areas
craziest, yes, would be just like unsolicited.
shown. Like, here it is.
Here it is.
Why?
Don't know you.
Why? Like, so you ain't never talked to this dude from Adam, and here you go.
Here you go.
Come on. fellas, you gotta do better.
Yes, you got to do better, fellas. And I don't know if fellas get that for women. I don't know. But women, I know for myself, definitely you get unsolicited nudes. And to me, it's offensive, one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because I feel like that's lowering my self-worth. Like,
That's
what you
just
think of me, like, why would you think that was okay? Two, like I tell people, if that's all you have to offer, something is wrong.
Facts.
So if that's what you lead with, I already know.
It ain't.
You don't got nothing
this
else.
Is the,
This is it.
This is it.
The
Have
other
you
thing.
have you ever got the guy talking to himself yet?
That's what I was just about to say. I have people that have whole conversations with themselves, y'all. And there's a lot of people like myself. If you hit me in the DM and say something appropriate, like, oh, that's a neat workout, or, you're cute, I will respond and say thank you.
Okay.
And sometimes I find that as soon as you respond, though, and just be kind,
Take off.
it takes off.
Give them this much.
And they take your whole DM. And so, really, if someone doesn't respond to you, maybe two
Tell them.
DMs,
Let it go.
it's okay. But don't take it personally either, because when you see that person in public, like, it's nothing.
No problem.
It's no problem. You don't need to approach the person, though. Don't approach them if they're not
'Cause now
responding to
you
your
seem like a
DMs, because
creep.
now it's kind of creepy. Yes. So that's what I would truly say, like DM etiquette.
One DM, she don't respond, and don't lead with your area.
No, no,
They don't like
No.
that. She's telling you firsthand.
no.
And the females that's been on here have all said this. Like, man, so what's the correct way? Tell them.
The correct way is to introduce yourself, because I have met some truly legit nice people through social media. That's the age we're in. Sometimes we can't connect any other type of way, but introduce yourself. See if you have anything in common. Set up a date where you can actually meet. Go from there.
Don't hit
I don't want to see it. I don't. And that's a definite no and block, okay? That's not even just a no. That's like, I'm blocking you because I think you're crazy.
And I've seen females post, oh, he growing in the group chat. Now, does that go down after
Yes.
you do it? You taking a risk.
You're taking a risk because now my whole crew knows you're crazy. And please believe they know you're crazy, because most of the time I'm going to let them know, and I'm going to take a screenshot and say, do any of y'all know him?
Snapshot.
Who is he? And why did he send me this? Another thing, fellas, in the single world, I do. If you ask me to go on a date with you, I usually will send your picture to my closest friends to make sure that you have not gone on a date with them. And that is kosher. And that's just out of respect.
Facts.
Okay.
So, y'all got, I done gave y'all everything today. Y'all.
Wait, one more thing.
Okay.
Don't like all my pictures, okay? Don't have me wake up to you liking all my pictures. It's just weird, and then you don't even hit my DM.
2 to 3 minimum?
Yeah, like 2 to 3, that's fine.
Okay.
Hit all of them?
Yeah. So, we covered all the topics. We on
Yes.
audio now, so. We covered all the topics for y'all. Make sure y'all check this interview out. And this is Couch Talk 101, and we out. That was fun.
That was. See, we even came up with another topic.
I know.
Them DMs, like, I was like, let me